Welcome to the most watched NBA podcast on a Friday night on YouTube. This is the Wise Take NBA podcast. I am your host once again, Patio Joe. I am back, YouTube. Love me or hate me. Here I am. Get used to this mug. I'm going to be here a lot more because in 3 weeks, that's right, MLB's here, and you're going to be seeing this mug a lot more, so get used to it. If you love me, you're going to love me more. If you hate me, you're going to love me even more. That's right, because you're going to come back and watch us, and I'm here with my man again on a Friday night, my man, Johnny the Greek. You can follow him at GDaddy80 on Twitter. What's up, Johnny?
Man, I hope I can follow up all that energy today. That was amazing. So I'm great, man. Love the intro today. This slate tomorrow sucks, so I'm glad something was positive out of this show. Hopefully we can drop some knowledge on them, on either plays and stuff like that. But really, this is a really, really tough slate tomorrow with 4 games. It's kind of ugly. I did a lot of research already on it to give you guys a little head start on it. We normally call this a first look podcast because that's what it really is. But I'm going to drop some knowledge on you guys, give you some plays that actually are viable and unviable as we go game by game today.
Nice. Well, we have a 4-game slate, and it's pretty much, there's not much, like you said, there's not much. So we're not going to do a top 3. We're only going to do a top 2 at the end. So anyways, why don't we get started with the first game? I'm just sending something. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. All right, let's start off with the first game we have here. Washington at Miami. What you got, John?
Yeah, so this is the first game on the slate. Tomorrow's slate starts a little bit later. Normally, it starts at 4 o'clock Pacific time, but tomorrow it's at 4:30. There is no total yet for this game. It is right now we have the Heat favored by 1. Washington is on a back-to-back traveling to Miami. We still have John Wall out, and we have Dion Waiters out for the season. Those are the notable injuries that we have in this game. So I'm gonna break down Washington's side first here. So when you really look at Washington, there's not a lot of obvious plays here. There's not a lot of great plays in this game in particular. It's a slower paced game as you could think whenever it's Miami. The guys that are typically in play here, you got Brad Beal, who's 8,800 on DraftKings and he's 8,300 on FanDuel. Much better play tomorrow on FanDuel with a price discount. I think that he's going to have to be very involved in this game to win, to keep it close to win this game on the back-to-back. I think defense is really going to lack more on the Washington side, so that's again why we have the total that we do. Otto Porter 6,600 on DraftKings tomorrow, 7,400 on FanDuel. A little too expensive for me on FanDuel. I like the price better at 6,600 on DraftKings. He's definitely in play. He's a really good 3-point shooter, and if his shot falls, he can definitely exceed value. So those are guys in play. And again, it's a 4-game slate, so we're really hurting here. There's only 2 other plays I like on the Washington side that are kind of fringe plays. One's Markieff Morris. I'm not crazy about the price, but he's 5,600 on DraftKings, and he's 5,500 on FanDuel. There's just not a lot on the slate to love, so I definitely want to mention him. I think he's in play. He put up 34 DraftKings points last time in this matchup, so I think he's in play. And then Thomas Satoransky, he's gotten a little bit expensive. He's 5,300 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, he's 5,600. But he has had good matchup history with them. He did put up 37, I should say, in the last matchup against them. So, you can definitely take a look at those 4 guys. My preferred play definitely is going to be Otto Porter and Brad Beal. And then I would go Satoransky and then Morris. That would be how I would rank those guys. And then on the Heat side, I would love to play Hassan Whiteside tomorrow. I love his price on DraftKings at 6,900. FanDuel's a little bit more expensive at 7,500. But the Heat just playing with his minutes. The first 2 games against Washington, he had great outputs. He put up over 40 in both games. And then in the last game against him, he only put up 18. He didn't get a lot of minutes there. I know that they're trying to rest him a little bit here and play some of the younger guys, younger bigs like Bam and Olynyk. But, I still think he can be a good option tomorrow. Really comes down to how the this game rolls out with Gortat being on the back-to-back, if they're going to play him a lot, and really depends on how Whiteside's playing. So 6,900, I think you could give him a try on DraftKings. FanDuel, it's really tough to pay 7,500 with only having one center spot. So you might, if you're going to play him, you maybe play him on DraftKings and then fade him over on FanDuel. Goran Dragic, he's okay tomorrow. He hasn't had great history against this team, but I like the price at 6,400 on DraftKings, and I like the price at 65 on FanDuel. And where Washington really does struggle is guarding point guards. They're not very good. They're not a great defensive team when it comes to that side. So I really like that. And the last play for me is going to be Dwayne Wade. I love the price on FanDuel at 4,900, and on DraftKings he's 53. He's still in play. Last game, he put up 36 DK points against Washington. He's looked really good since he's gone over to Miami, so he's definitely in play for me tomorrow.
Nice. Okay, so is there any must plays you got to have tomorrow from this game?
No, I think this game is the first two games here are really tough. Like, I think the must plays are really later, if any. I don't think that this slate, unless you're looking for raw points, there's a must play on this whole slate. I don't think so. You have a lot of guys that are priced up in the better matchups, and then you have some guys that are priced accordingly in these like fringe matchups like this one. I feel like there's some guys like Brad Beal I think is a little bit underpriced. I also think Dwayne Wade's a little bit underpriced on FanDuel, but those are just fringe in a fringe game. This game is not definitely my favorite game.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a question we have in the chat here. This is just a general question. Obviously, it's slate dependent. With 4 games, do you just stack a game and run with it?
It depends on the slate. Some games are stackable, some games are unstackable. The unfortunate part of the game that looks the most appetizing is the last game on the slate tonight, but it's 11-point spread for the Clippers, and a lot of the guys over there on the Magics are priced up, so you can't really stack it, and then the Clippers are priced up too. So I don't really think this is going to be a stack 'em slate, to be honest with you. I think you're just going to want to balance and just get the right pieces on it. So I think, again, I think you want to probably get like one piece or two pieces from this first game, if you can, figure out what guy you like the best, and then maybe take some value from the next game or the Orlando game where their plays are cheaper. And then, you just take your raw points in the middle game.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next game. We have Memphis, the Grizz, traveling down to Texas, having some Texas barbecue in Dallas, taking on the Mavs.
Yeah, so the Grizz, they're coming on in a back-to-back. This game's at 5:30. The total is 205.5, and Dallas is favored by 8.5, which is really ugly because Dallas is trying to tank. So that goes to show you how ugly this game is. Just wants to give you guys heads up on that. We looked at like the last couple of days with the Grizzlies. You've had the fringe of value plays here. Well, all those guys are priced up now. So you don't have those cheap, really super cheap guys anymore. So now you have to start to make decisions on who's actually a good play and worth the play based on the matchup and based on the other games that are going on here. Now, I do still think that some of these guys are in play, and I'll get to them. I first wanted to go over all of the guys that are out or questionable in the game. We have a long list here. So we have Tyreek Evans. He's out. We have Andrew Harrison out. Mario Chalmers out. Nerlens Noel out. Chandler Parsons was out for today for rest. Doesn't say anything about tomorrow, so he might be eligible to play, but he's not really done anything for this team this year, so he's whatever. You got Conley and Curry both still out. And then this is the interesting one. Dorian Finney-Smith is supposed to play tomorrow. He hasn't played almost all season, and he's going to play tomorrow from what the news is telling me. So he's a cheap guy. He's like $3,000. So he might be, depending on minute restriction, he might be a value that opens up for us later in the day. We have to confirm if he's going to play. So we can circle back to that tomorrow on our Y stream. So yeah, the plays who I like at the top here is going to be Marc Gasol on the Grizzlies side. He's just too cheap on DraftKings at 7,500. FanDuel he's 7,600. He's a great play there too. He's averaged really well against this team. Dallas is really bad against the bigs. They're a big short with Noel being out. So I really like Gasol tomorrow. He's gone for 54, 40, and 35 in this matchup already this year. So I definitely like that. And then you got to look at guys that have been producing that were value. Like Macklemore. He's been playing really well. Dylan Brooks been playing really well. Jarrell Martin as well been playing really well, and even Xavier Mays has been playing well. But now they're just priced up. Where you have Macklemore at 5,400 on DraftKings, 4,600 on FanDuel, and then you have Brooks at 4,900 on DraftKings, 4,800 on FanDuel, and then Martin around the same price. So you really have to figure out who you want to go to. If I was going to take any of these value guys here, I'd probably go with Martin and Brooks. Those are probably my two favorite plays. I think with guys starting to come back and get a little healthy, Mays on a 10-day, so he might get sent back to the G League. So we have to see what's going on because of Chandler Parsons might be back tomorrow. So I really like Brooks tomorrow. He's just tossing up shots, and at 4,900, and 3,800 on FanDuel, or 4,800, I'm sorry, on FanDuel. I think he's a great play in this matchup. And Dallas is not guarding anybody right now. So I look there. And on the Dallas side, you have to look at, even though I don't like his price, he's expensive. He's 6,800 on DraftKings, and he's 6,900. Dennis Smith Jr. tomorrow. He's okay tomorrow. He's been averaging in the mid-30s in this matchup this year. Just, again, there's some better plays on the slate, but if you're looking to target some guys from this game, he'd be a guy. And then you have Harrison Barnes, who's like a cash game play. He's 6,700 on DraftKings, and he's 62 on FanDuel. So I think he's firmly in play. And then if you just want a cheap guy, you want some value, look at Doug McBuckets over here. 3,900 on DraftKings, 37 on FanDuel. I like him a lot tomorrow as a cheap flyer, just to make some of the plays in other games, work for me. So I definitely like that.
Nice. Did you kind of see there was a little drama with Roto Grinders last night? One of their main guys won. I think he won up 6 or 7 figures.
Yeah. SPL cards.
Yeah. And he on his on his write-up he said fade, and he said fade Durant. But then on the lineup where he won all the money, he had Durant. So everybody was screaming now. And it's not even so much, we know how it works. You do things, you're going to have somebody's. But when you're saying you're fading somebody, I think honestly, when I'm talking about I'm 100% fading somebody, I'm usually saying that. I'm not saying I might fade him a little bit, or what do you think that is? Do you think when you're saying you're fading him, you're never playing him, or what? How do you look at that? Because people were kind of on both sides, and I could see where people could be a little upset if they were subscribers and stuff. So
yeah, well, let me give you my 2 cents here for the whole situation. So Justin's a good dude. I've met him live final before. He's a really good dude, real good dude. And I think people are blowing this out of proportion. It said top stud that you're looking to fade in tournaments, not that you're gonna fade. That you're looking to fade in tournaments. Mm-hmm. So he did fade him in tournaments, but he didn't fade him in his stacks, his team game stacks. Yeah. So where he won all the money was in his game stacks. So if you look at the results, they have a thing called Results DB. I was reading on Twitter about this whole thing. Mm-hmm. You can look back, and he didn't play him in anything but game stacks. So I get why people are upset. I think that they need to maybe change their survey. They kind of set themselves up for failure. So I understand why people are upset, but it's the wording of it that's confusing a lot of people here. And I don't think he was trying to, play anybody for a fool, or trying to pull any wool over eyes, or try to get people off to play. He just got in a stack and he played a stack, and that's what happened. So just because I might say that a guy that I'm looking to fade is this play doesn't mean I'm fading him. It's a guy I'm looking to fade. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Again, it's the spin on words, and it's really unfortunate that this has to happen in DFS. It always seems like every week there's some new issue in DFS that we're all up in arms about. And I just think let it go, it is what it is.
Well, social media will kill you.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
they'll get you on one, typo, little, they
Oh
misspell a word
yeah.
and they'll just get you on. So,
Oh yeah, just like me, like I always butcher names on this podcast, and I always hear about it. It's like, come on, man, like, give me a break.
yeah, yeah. And then I don't even really know. There was this other guy from one of the other companies I heard about, like credit card fraud or something like that. I was hearing about.
I haven't heard anything about that. I just, I'm not gonna, I can't speak on that, but I just know that Justin and personally, I know he's a good dude, and I
Oh
know
no,
he
this
wouldn't.
is totally different world.
Yeah,
This is a different
yeah,
company. I'm
yeah.
not.
I don't know anything about that. And I don't even know if we want to go into that, but man, because man, there is, I'll say this, that there is out there in this world. We know there's a lot of like shady people out there, and you have to be really careful who you do business with. I mean, I've had a lot of credit card fraud done in my days because I do a lot of my purchasing online. Just being the new wave of shopping. So that's unfortunate. Anybody that got burned by that, I definitely understand and send my sympathy out there. We're not all like that in DFS. So.
Yeah, I mean, go through. Like if you're out there, do your due diligence about who you're giving your money to. Also, like I'm not down to like DM me. PayPal me the money, DM and all that stuff. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, you got to have a reputable site. So, like WiseTake. So,
Absolutely, and that's why I do all my coaching through like anybody that looks for that DMs me wants to do coaching. Like I always just say, hey, I refer them to the website because it's a secured site, and we're insured and all that kind of stuff. So if there's anything that happens, you're covered. So be really specific, really careful in this business if people are telling you just to PayPal them money and they really mean it. They really mean like PayPal them instead of a site. It's a little fishy.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our public service announcement. Let's move on to the third 3 out of 4 games. We have probably one of the marquee games of the night. Obviously, the whole nation's going to be watching this. It's San Antonio at OKC. What you got?
Yeah, so we got OKC favored by 4.5. San Antonio goes a little bit up to the OKC. We're looking at a 211.5 here on the total. This game's at 5:30. So you have this game and the Memphis game that are going to start at the same time. So we have a couple injuries that we're looking at here. We have Pau Gasol right now that's questionable. We already know that Kawhi's out. We have Roberson. We know that he's out. And then Ferguson, he's questionable for tomorrow. So those are the injury news that we have. In this game, you got to really be careful with the Spurs side because at any day, like you can see somebody getting popped, and you have to be really careful in these kind of matchups where the lineup can change. So I'm not really at this moment on any fringe plays on the San Antonio side at all. Guys, I'm not really looking at. I'm just looking at the guys who are like the mostly like the meat potato guys for me is what I'm going to call them today. And then like one guy who's like a borderline for me. So if I'm going to play anybody on the Spurs side, I'm going to look at like LMA tomorrow. He's 8,400 on DraftKings and he's 87 on FanDuel. He hasn't had great history this year, but it's an okay matchup here. With Gasol possibly being out, it's going to have him shoulder the load. Then you have Murray. I like Murray tomorrow. Point guards against Westbrook. I love to go ahead and stream them. He's cheap on DraftKings at 6,000, and then on FanDuel he's only 6,500. Better price on DraftKings for sure. He put up over 45 last game against Westbrook, so he's in there. And the good thing about him is he doesn't need to get you there with scoring. He can get you because he's a big lengthy guy. He can get you there with rebounds, steals, blocks. He can fill up the stat sheet. So he gets you 15 points. You're probably having a good game. So I definitely like him. And then on the cheap, I like Patty Mills tomorrow. He's 43 on DraftKings, and he's 4,200 on FanDuel. So those are the guys I'm leaning on. If Gasol's ruled out, you could definitely take a look at like King Joffrey tomorrow or even Bertans. You can look at those guys. Gay's okay. He's a little too expensive tomorrow for my taste. I'd prefer to go to Anderson, but I prefer the 3 guys that I mentioned over all those other guys, unless we get some Gasol news. And then again, I'll update this tomorrow on the Wise stream. So, and then on the OKC side, you have Russell Westbrook. He's the most expensive guy on the slate, So you're paying for that. You're not
by
getting
far.
Yeah, by far. But the thing is like you're not getting an overprice on him on DraftKings, where they didn't just say, okay, we're gonna make him 14,000 because no one else has the ability to get there like he does.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only at 11.5 on DraftKings. So on FanDuel, you're paying a little bit more at 12,000, but I think he's in play. Now the Spurs are guys as a team that you want to typically take the bigs and point guards against, but Westbrook hasn't had a lot of success in this matchup in the past. So it's not like he's not a must play. He's the most expensive guy. If you want to take a high floor, go ahead and take him. But he hasn't had these 80 point, 70 point uptick games. So definitely he's not a guy you have to play. But if you want that floor, you go ahead and take him. And then Paul George, I really like Paul George on DraftKings tomorrow at his price. 7,700 tomorrow on DraftKings, I think is a steal for his talent. He could definitely get you there tomorrow. On FanDuel, it's a little bit more expensive at 8,400, but I think you can still play him. And then Steven Adams, the last game that Westbrook and the OKC Thunder were playing against the Spurs, Adams and Westbrook had a really good game together. They're really playing the pick and roll together. They're playing off of each other. I think if you're going to play Westbrook, you have to play Adams and the game with him. You got to stack them and hope that the pick and roll goes with them. And Adams is only 6,500 on DraftKings. He's 72 on FanDuel, probably a little expensive there. But if you're going to play Westbrook, I almost think Adams is a must. And you're hoping that those two just go off as a correlation play. So that's where I would go in this game. And then you can look at cheaper guys like Corey Brewer, who had a good game. He got to start last game, had a pretty good game. He was cheap. If he's still cheap on sites, you can go ahead and take a look at him. But again, he's not a must play, as I don't think there's a must play on this whole slate.
Mm-hmm. All right. That sounds good. All right, let's move on to the last game of the night. Both teams are coming off of a back-to-back, correct?
Yes,
right?
both teams are on a back-to-back. Yeah,
back-to-back. We got the Orlando Magic traveling to the Staples Center to take on the Clippers. Do you know that they're playing? The Kings are playing at 1:00 tomorrow, and then they're gonna cool down. And they put the
that's why they're playing at 7:30. Because normally they play the early game like at 6:00 on Saturdays.
Yeah. The Kings are. I'm taking my son. So
nice.
He it's funny how he loves hockey, and he's 3. He just loves watching it. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, So tell us about what's going on in this game.
Yeah. So this game starts at 7:30 on the West Coast. It has a 221 total. Clippers are right now favored by 11. Remember, they're both on a back-to-back. I'm going to go over the injuries really quick in this game, and then I'll get into the game. So we have Aaron Gordon, who's in the concussion protocol right now. He was ruled out for this game because this is his second concussion this year. He's going to be in a deeper stage of concussions. He's questionable, but I think he's going to be more likely out. Then we have Gallinari, who's already been ruled out. We have Fournier, already ruled out. Avery Bradley is going to be out. We have Juwan Evans, that was questionable, but he played today, so it doesn't make any sense because he's playing now. And then we have Ross, who's questionable for tomorrow as well on the Magic side. So this is the team. The Magics are the team that a lot of guys got value from today. There was a lot of value that was in there because Aaron Gordon was ruled out, Fournier was ruled out. All these guys were ruled out, and then we didn't know about DJ Augustine until closer to game time. So with all those guys, you had value today like Mario Hezonja, Jonathan Simmons, you had Augustine, and so on and so forth. And then you had Isaac, who's been playing, who jumped in the starting lineup, and so he became a value play. But everybody's been priced up now, so you just got to kind of look at it and evaluate what you're looking to do with your lineups and where you want to go. So, first for me, I'm looking at Vukovic tomorrow. He's 8,700 on DraftKings. He's 9,100 on FanDuel. I think the guy has a great opportunity in this game. I just don't like the upside based on his price. So it's going to be a fade for me. I can definitely see the merit in anybody wanting to play him. You have over with the Clippers, you don't have a great rim protector. DeAndre is not a great rim protector. He's a good rebounder, but he's not a great rim protector. So, and he doesn't like to go out and guard, the 3-point line. So Vuk can shoot some threes here. So I can see him doing okay in this matchup, just not for me at the price. And then the guy I would look at is Hezonja. He had a huge game against Clippers this year. put over 47 DraftKings points. Got a little expensive now. He went up from today from being 42. He got a $1,400 price increase based on his role. He's 5,600 today on DraftKings. I love the price for him on FanDuel at 4,800. Probably take a look at him there. But I think he's definitely in play in this matchup. And then you want to look at a guy like Jonathan Simmons, 5,400 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, 6,200. For me, is out of play on FanDuel. I think on DraftKings is a good play. I think you can even go to DJ Augustine tomorrow at point guard. FanDuel is 4,800. DraftKings he's 5,200. I don't think I'd play him on FanDuel. I don't want him to eat up one of my point guard slots. But on DraftKings, you have so many different player eligibility. You have utility, and you have a guard spot there where he can go in there finally. If he's the last play in, I would definitely look at that. And then if you're looking for some value, you have Jonathan Isaac, 3,700 on DraftKings, 3,800 on FanDuel. He can get you there to value in this matchup. I'm pretty sure he'll be okay tomorrow. He's playing in this game right now, so I don't know how he's been doing. But other than that, he looked good to me as I was doing a little research here. And then on the Clippers side, it's the usual suspects. Lou Williams, 8,500 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel. He's getting really, really expensive. I have concerns about the whole Clippers side because they all are priced up tomorrow with being 11-point favorite. So I don't know how much exposure I'm going to have to the Clippers because of pricing, but if this game stays close, you're going to have to get some pieces here. I would say, you have, as I said, you have Lou Williams, and then down there you have a little bit cheaper. You have Tobias Harris, 8,100. I can't go there with Tobias Harris on DraftKings. He's just too expensive. FanDuel is the same price. Again, I think there's some better plays there. I prefer to go to DeAndre Jordan tomorrow. 7,800 on DraftKings. A little expensive on FanDuel, 8,300, but he's had some monster games against Orlando in the past. He's put up over 50. So I like that. And Austin Rivers, is a little too cheap in this matchup. Orlando's gotten worse guarded point guards ever since Peyton's left. 6,200 on DraftKings, 6,400 on FanDuel. Go ahead and take a look at him. And then Montrezl Harrell tomorrow, 5,600 on DraftKings and FanDuel. He's definitely in play tomorrow. There's really nobody that's going to be able to stop him on the second unit. I'm not really worried about Birch or any of those other guys. They're just not as physical as this guy is. So those are the guys you want to kind of target here on the Clippers side. My probable preferred play is going to be Rivers and Jordan just based on price and matchup. So that's where I'd probably lean towards. But I think you can still get some value with Lou Williams if this game stays close.
Hold on a second. I'm getting to it. Johnny, I just got to let you know something.
Yeah.
You've just been traded to the Browns. They made another trade today.
Man, the Browns have been trading everybody, huh? Wow.
David Njoku and a 6th-round pick for Johnny the Greek. That's what it says here by Adam Schefter.
Oh, jeez.
We're all going.
I'm going to freeze my ass off now. Is that what you're telling me?
Nobody's safe.
Oh, man. Horrible.
It's so funny how, it happened today, and it's always funny. Twitter is so hilarious the way that they do that, the way that, the moves just keep coming, and, everybody's, oh, my God, they're definitely going to get Saquon Barkley. This is it. And it's I don't remember the last team that won the Super Bowl in March. I'm trying to remember that.
Or by drafting a first-round quarterback the first year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll probably get a quarterback at 4 and then maybe Barkley at 1. I think that might happen. That also opens up, though, to them of trading out of 1 if they don't really want Barkley.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they wouldn't, but they could trade out of 1 and just trade back and get more picks and then get the quarterback maybe they want. Maybe Denver wants somebody and they trade up to get him, or Arizona or something. I'm sorry, guys, for talking about football. I'm sorry. You guys I want NBA. I'm sorry. It's a little bit football. I'm sorry. Anyway, a little bit digress. We're going to get to, anyways. We got CJ Williams. Let's see. CJ Williams getting playing time still at Patio Joe. CJ Williams. Is that a basketball player?
Yeah. He's okay. I mean, you had Evans come back today, so that's going to eat into that a little bit. But again, I don't think you need to get cute on this slate. I think there's some decent plays. I'd go to Brewer first before I'd go there, or I would go to even Isaac.
And then what about Shelvin Mack? 3,700.
Mac's okay. If you're trying to play in the blowout situation, I mean, he's just not that aggressive. I mean, I just prefer to, if you want somebody in 3,700, just go to Isaac. He's starting. He's pretty secure. Or pay up to 44 for Mills or 43 for Mills.
Okay, so Paulie D texted me that CJ Williams is in the D League. So,
he got sent down because of Evans. Yeah. So, but he might get called up tomorrow. So,
okay. All right. Yeah, that's why I didn't know. I'm just kidding. All right. Let's go top twos. Since you said it wasn't, you didn't have top 2 point guards tomorrow.
Yeah. So top 3. There's not like top 3 plays at every position tomorrow. So I didn't want to waste you guys' time. So point guards for me right now, the top 2, Westbrook and Dennis Smith Jr. Those are my top 2.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And that shooting guard we got Brad Beal and Lou Williams.
All right. Small forward.
We got Harrison Barnes and Mario Hezonja.
And let's see at power forward.
We got the Magician LMA, and that's copyright by my boy Cashin. So I need to give you some clout on that one. So there we go.
Cash, if you're there, we love you.
And Markieff Morris.
And at the center spot,
DJ and Marcus Gasol.
And since it's a 4-game slate, if you were getting weird to win all the money tomorrow on one of the donkey tournaments, who are you playing?
If you want to get weird, let's see. Stack that Memphis Dallas game. That will get you bizarre.
Stack the Memphis Dallas game. All right, guys. I don't see any more questions in the chat. It's been great. You know what? It's been awesome hosting the most watched NBA podcast on a Friday night on YouTube. This is the Wise Take NBA DFS podcast. You got me in the host chair. You got Johnny there spinning the plays, waiting. We're waiting. I'm 10 days until my wife gives birth to twins, all right? So you could see the stress on my face, all right, guys? This is fun. I'm out here. We're talking basketball. We had 3 weeks until baseball starts. I'm pumped up for baseball. Oh, I just want to do one last thing just to make sure everybody, so all the haters, they always say I don't bring anything to everything. This is what I brought today, okay? This was a foul ball that I caught a couple years ago on my birthday that Trevor Story hit a couple years ago. The only foul ball I ever caught on my 39th birthday. So I thought I'd bring that to show and tell this week for the NBA DFS podcast. So anyways, that's going to do it. So guys, be sure you hit the thumbs up button on the right there, down there on the YouTube. Make sure you did the like buttons and do on the Podbean. Moves us up to all those charts. That's what CK likes. And so for Johnny the Greek, you follow him at GDaddy Eddie. I am Patio Joe. Oh, I haven't maybe text Steve. I hope Steve is there. Steve, are you there? I hope you're there, Steve. Steve, are you there? Keep talking. We can talk about anything else. So let me see. Did you have a beer in the other hand when you caught it? No, I didn't. Actually, guys, I don't drink. Believe it or not, guys, I really don't. I smoke. We've had many stories on the Wise streams where I tell my strip club stories. That's always fun. So on the Wise stream, Johnny, I don't know if you were there. Okay, so he's here. Okay, good. So last year on the Wise streams, I still like my strip club stories, which was pretty interesting. It got pretty graphic, so we didn't want to bring it to the YouTube. It was a premium story, so we figured we'd get a premium on the premium. So anyways, guys, Steve's ready. He's here. So for my man, Johnny the Greek, I am Patio Joe, the most loved man in NBA DFS. That's right. I'm here, baby. Love me. I'm here. Soak it all up. Give me a big hug and kiss because I'm going to be here next week. That's right. So for Patio Joe, just like my man CK says, good luck.
Ship it.
Yeah.